What's up, everybody? My name's Montoya, aka Black Socrates, the coolest philosopher on the planet. You may know me from my Mental Dialogue talk show, your intellectual after dinner dessert, each and every Sunday night on Glance Radio. Also, the most powerful hour on the radio because we gets it in. Tonight's piece of my mind, I just watched the president's comments on the Trayvon Martin situation, which has been on everybody's heart, especially in the African American community, after the decision to see George Zimmerman not guilty of acting supposedly in self-defense from the story that we've been told. And, you know, my concern is that we actually deal with the real issues, and I was just very appreciative to see President Obama, who I feel has been handling this situation appropriate to a certain extent standpoint. I just thought it was so touching last year when he said Trayvon could have been his son. That was very touching, and I thought, man, that's pretty impressive for the president to come out and mention this situation, because we know of our past presidents, I don't think Trayvon would have been mentioned, even with the media frenzy. So I applaud President Obama on that, but more so I applaud him on the comments that he just recently made. I just felt like they came from a very real place, and that's something that we don't see from politicians these days. And I also wanted to address the people that were criticizing President Obama after those comments. For example, Tavis Smiley. I've been critical of the president. I think being critical of the top position in our country is the American way. Dissent is something that our democracy welcomes. But in this situation, I just felt like Tavis went a little too far, and anybody else, I haven't seen anybody else comments, but I just thought Tavis went way too far with his Twitter comments in this situation, where him and Cornel West, we all know, have been beating down the president's door on his track record on jobs, specifically within the African American community. I don't disagree with all the things that they say there, but in this instance where you have the parents who were appreciative of what the president had to say, who are we to judge if Trayvon's own parents are respectful and happy? And as the president mentioned, they've handled the situation with so much grace despite what's happened, and we haven't seen acts of violence that we in a sense may have expected to come after the situation. I think some of their own grace played a part in this, and so I think you're definitely going too far if the parents of Trayvon Martin, who are somehow trying to still recover from this young man's loss a year ago, we're really getting beside ourselves if we think we can start saying a little too late. And I think Tavis went as far as to say the comments were soft as Kool-Aid, and I just felt like the president just came from a very real spot to say, hey, these are things that we need to discuss, and I appreciated it. I think he put some things in perspective for the majority of Americans, who I think the majority of Americans actually agree with the verdict. And like I said, I don't want to get into a discussion of whether the verdict was correct or incorrect. I voiced my opinion about that situation in my commentary, whereas when I speak, I'm the Black Socrates. When I write, I'm the Black Nietzsche Thinks. So you can actually go to my Facebook page, which I would encourage people, because dialogue about this needs to continue so that we can move to a much better place. I'm a little concerned with the NAACP trying to force the civil case against Zimmerman, which I understand a lot of people are wishing for, hoping for that. I just don't want the target to be Zimmerman now versus what made Zimmerman get out of the car is the real issue, and that's what I feel like President Obama actually addressed. How can we move forward in a positive direction? And I don't think we can get there without having a very true and honest conversation, just as the president recommended. No politicians involved, but in our places of work, in our daily lives, let's begin to have the honest conversations that unfortunately led to a Trayvon Martin situation. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about the fact that the American black man, black boys, as the president directly addressed. You got to be appreciative of that. That's not a Kool-Aid soft comment for the president to come out and say, let's target our young African American boys, which in our community, in order for us to survive, we must figure out a way to improve and make them feel a part of America. I've done one of these peace of mind and ask, would you die for this country? And I know in our community there's a lot of people who say they would not, without understanding that, as the president said, we've gotten to a better place, but we cannot get to where we need to if we keep having dishonest conversations about race. So I'm very ready to move forward. If you go to my Facebook.com page /mental dialogue, you'll see 4 different perspectives. There's one called Whiteout that speaks specifically to the real issue in this Trayvon Martin situation. There's also even one from a white guy who says, I killed Trayvon Martin, and he talks about his own racist ways that he became aware of after thinking about this case. Real conversations that need to be had at Facebook.com /mental dialogue, where all I ask is that you think. My name's Montoya Smith, aka the Black Socrates. You've gotten a piece of my mind. I'm out.